All right, in the last video, we uploaded content to our media folder. And so our next step in the process is adding that content to a playlist. So now that we have our content uploaded to our media folder, let's go ahead and hop back over the playlister and let's begin working on the playlist. So to access playlist, I'm going to click in the playlist button on the left-hand side under Media Manager if we're on this tab. And so we're going to click there and we're going to come to our playlist sections. So for the purpose of this video, I have a folder already created. If you need to create a folder to help keep content organized, you can just click here and it will allow you to create a folder. I have created a folder titled Training Videos. That's where I'm going to put my content, so that way we can help keep all of our content organized as we go. So I'm going to click on Training Videos, and we now need to create a playlist. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and title our playlist. So we're going to click the plus button, and it will automatically allow us to just type in and create our first playlist. So let's call it Announcements Slides. All right, and I'm going to click that. And now, if you noticed, it did not put it in the proper place. It put it down at the bottom of the list. So what I need to do is add it to its actual folder. So I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it. Now, as you can see, there is an outline that happens whenever I click and drag. So when I release it, it has now placed it in our training videos. A good way to check that is if I close down my slide or my folder, it goes away. If I open it, there are my playlists. Okay. So from here, I need to begin to add content. So as you can see right here, it says your playlist is empty. You can add media by double clicking or dragging files from the right. So if I go to the right, I can now see the folders that were created in the media section. So if I go to announcements, I now have all my content here. Now we renamed a few slides. So Early Learning Center slide has been renamed. It's easy for us to know what that is from a 1,000-foot view. And then the other one is our serve slide. So we know what that content is, and we can already see how it can benefit us by renaming it. So if I click on it, double click on it, I can add it like that. Or if I maybe want the crawfish bowl to be before the college slide, I can click and drag it before it. Discover Dayspring, I want it at the very top. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and add in everything else. Let's see, just click through. All right, and I want to go ahead and add this Welcome to Dayspring up at the very top as well. Okay, so I've added in all of my content here. And the next step in what I would want to do is, because I want these announcement slides to be a loop. Now, this may not apply in most situations in the preschool classroom, but sometimes you may want your content to just loop continuously. If you have any announcement slides or anything like that, if you want to send those to your TVs, you can set those up to loop whenever you go into that playlist. So let's go ahead and set that up now. So when I go into my playlist, I have up here at the top, I have name, duration, pause, next, and the trash can. Okay. The trash can is very simple. I can delete that content if I click on it and make it all go away. If I click up here in the top, it's going to delete all of the content in this playlist. So one can assume from that if we click the next button for the auto advance, we can click there. And we have now applied an auto advance to all of the items in the playlist. What if I don't want that? Well, I can just hit the pause button and it sets all of your content to be at a pause, at a stop. So let me go back to our auto advance. There we go. All right. And then we have our duration. So duration is how long that content's going to be there. So we can then click here and we can change that. We have hours, we have minutes, and we have seconds here that we can control. Each slide can be individual. It's going to set a default of 10 seconds for each slide. If we're doing an announcements type thing, 10 seconds works. So if you need to adjust it from there, you have to go through each item and adjust it. All right, next thing, we do have the options button here. So it's a ellipses that's happening. So we can click on that and we can preview our content. Okay. So it does not play it through in the 10 seconds. It just lets us see that individual content. We can duplicate our content. Why would you want to duplicate your content? Well, maybe I want the Welcome to Dayspring to happen in a couple places. So let me just go ahead and duplicate that content a few times, and let's click and drag it. Cool. We've got that content in there a couple times. Now, if you notice when I duplicated it, it did not put an auto advance feature on there. So now what I need to do is just go ahead and click here. It applies it to everything, and I'm good to go. My suggestion is before you put any like customization of auto advance or pause, go ahead and make sure that all of your content is in there correctly, then apply that. So that way you don't have to go back and forth and do it over and over again. Okay. The next thing we have is set display name. So what is the display name? Well, that is when you're on your Apple TV, what name do you want to display so that way a teacher can quickly access content? Now in announcements, it really doesn't matter, but if I go into like our 1s and 2s, we can come in here, set display name, and we have changed from our original content name to He Is Alive. A teacher can now look at that and say, okay, I'm supposed to play the He Is Alive video. Here's where it says He Is Alive. Okay, that's what I'm going to click on. So display names are very, very beneficial for the teachers in that aspect. I also find in uploading content that it's much easier for me to navigate that content when I can see these display names. Okay. Going back to our announcement slide area. And then we do have another delete button. So remember that there are 3 delete buttons for our content. There's one in our ellipses. There is one here. And then there's a master delete of your entire playlist, all of your content here. So be very careful using your delete buttons. Make sure you are using the proper one if you're needing to remove content. So if you're in the ellipses, you can delete your content there, or you can use the trash can here to delete individual content. Clicking here will delete all of your content. So just something to keep in mind.